I've spent enough time with this now to have my own views that are, like you, different than the scientific community. Here's a good question. Is our sun a giant gaseous body, or is it not? Or is it something like liquid metallic hydrogen?
Yeah, it's probably something like that.
You're bringing up so many good points. I think there are answers to these questions, or at least there are competing, viable theories to these questions that I think are worth exploring, that I'm interested in learning about. I'm glad you're interested in learning about them. In fact, frankly, who's paying close enough attention to ask the questions that you and I are? That's a good start. What I like about you is that you're interested in reclaiming a God-centered, earth-centered cosmology that provides meaning, that reestablishes a God-human relationship. And I don't disagree with you on that. And I think the materialist, godless, scientific community does lie.
In fact, they practice a science that's very much religious in nature.
And so you and I probably have some commonality on things like Big Bang cosmology, which I will challenge any day of the week. In fact, very interested in cosmology. I'm interested in the science, but it's all incidental to a kind of religious worldview as well. And so I very much appreciate the need to recenter that relationship, and in a very real sense, in a kind of metaphysical, philosophical sense, in a
literal way, the human heart, the earth, is at the center of all things.
We've arrived at a Big Bang cosmology because of a certain observation for which we had no viable or for which we had no decent alternative explanations at the time that this redshift was observed. And so there's a kind of there's a belief system that went into the standard cosmology of the present day. You're right, that is being challenged. I agree with you in that. I think there are other explanations for that. I think plasma cosmology, plasma physics, has a much larger role to play in understanding the universe. I think electromagnetism does, quite frankly. And to your point, you see, there were forces in the ancient world that they didn't have our modern vernacular to describe things for us as a modern person. So they used words like fire or light, for example. We use words like electromagnetism. We had talked about plasma. We have a whole vernacular that would have been unfamiliar to the ancient man. But the bottom line is, we've got emerging paradigms right now that are trying to explain the various anomalies in the standard cosmology that have been so apparent for the past couple of decades. I think that modern physics, especially theoretical physics, it's kind of a garbage bin, frankly. But
even the standard cosmological model is on its way out the door.
And they sense that. And so there are purveyors of the standard cosmology who are very interested,
just like a religious priest
is interested, in retaining every argument they can to fill the gaps that are appearing in their model. So they have to invent dark energy. They have to invent dark matter. They invent a Big Bang. All of that's on its way out the door, in fact. And any honest scientist is telling you about that. I'll acknowledge the fact that if I was going to teach my son if I was going to teach him the truth of astronomy, let's say, I wouldn't start by teaching him that the sun is in the middle of all things. In fact, I'd plant his feet on terra firma, outside at night, and I'd orient him to the stars based on where he presently is. I teach him about a zenith overhead and the meridian, and I teach him about the apparent motions of the observable universe. There have been astronauts who have been in space. I've talked to astronauts who are on the ISS while they've been on the ISS. We've launched things into space. We use orbital mechanics to put those things there. And I've seen the Earth from those altitudes, watched things go up into space, and watched our operators take these things over. We've got 99% at least of those people that are in those missions
genuinely believing that they're involved in a grand space operation.
I'd like to understand, for example, how the model that you subscribe to predicts upcoming solar and lunar eclipses and the relative motions of the wandering stars over a backdrop of fixed stars.
Matt
Matt is admitting that what they say about dark matter, a lot of stuff that you guys actually agree on. It's crazy. So let me let Jaron.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Jaron, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to say that. There's actually a lot of stuff that Jaron talks about. He agrees that now they kind of have to keep the lie going because it's so much religion. Matt is very intellectually honest. He believes in God, so he knows that they use science to lie. So really, I really appreciate his opinion more than a lot of these people that worship science. Joe VT, is the Earth round or flat?
It's probably round, but...
No, it's not round! It's not freaking round! Oh, you think it's round? Let me show you what's freaking not round. This computer monitor is not. Does it look round to you, Joe VT? Does that look round to you?